Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here and welcome to another NIKKE video. Now, you've seen the title, you've seen this thumbnail, and I'm so happy for my girl Rapi, and I'm going to show you something absolutely insane. This is the guild test boss challenge that you can do. You bring Rapi in, and you bring her, not as a burst 3, as a burst 1 quote-unquote support character. And take a look at her damage comparison right now, okay, against Red Hood, Asuka, and Modernia. And of course, in this fight, we've specially selected the boss to be elemental weak to Asuka and Modernia. And guess who came first? Oh my god! Now, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a background, okay? My Red Hood is core 7. My Modernia is core 7. My Asuka is max limit broken. My Rapi is also max limit broken. But what you may have noticed is that Rapi in this video, at least the showcase I'm doing here, is used as a burst 1. That's right, she never in this entire stream during this fight segment bursted as a burst 3. Okay, it's all Red Hood and Asuka. And just from the sheer ability of gaining that elemental advantage, she out damages, of course, a tier 0 damage dealer in Red Hood, and also a elemental advantageous character such as Asuka and Modernia as a burst 1. Burst 1. Now, I have a few examples of how she performs as a burst 3, and let me tell you, I'm so happy once again for Rapi because she's able to beat out her sensei. Okay, I'm gonna have a few numbers here and show you guys. First, as you can see, this is going to be the comparison between Red Hood and Red Hood Rapi against a Iron Weak enemy. She just straight up out damages Red Hood. This is as a B3, okay? I threw in the level 1 Rapi in there just for for fun. But you can see, holy moly. And of course, in comparison to the current best damage dealer Cinderella, and this is elemental neutral, okay? Elemental neutral, so not Cinderella, not Rapi, they're both not strong to the boss fight that they've engaged in. Of course, it's still going to be a bit weaker. However, Rapi has 2 elements as an over-spec character, which is absolutely insane. I think it's going to be the future of NIKKE essentially. And let me tell you, the build, the teams, and how Rapi, in my honest opinion, is essentially the new wave of NIKKEs for 2025 and it future-proof. At least until the next big-ass power creep. But the reason why is because she has this skill, which is called attachable projectiles, because at the start of the battle she gains this damage as strong element and she turns into a iron type against electric, because she's already fire right against wind. She's now going to be iron against electric, so she has dual element, which means you get such a variety of team comps that will suit her. And this what's so great. Not only is she able to be used as a dual elemental character, which means 2 types of boss you can use her on, she is able to be used as a dual burst character. So you can use her as a burst 1 or a burst 3. Now, currently, her damage output, as you've seen already, there's not going to be a lot of characters that will be able to outdamage, okay, outdamage Red Rapi at all. If you're against an elemental weak character to Red Hood Rapi, you're going to outdamage Cinderella. You are going to outdamage Cinderella because, again, let me remind you, this is the non-elemental weak version, right? So, against wind, against electric, you are going to be the top DPS, because the 2 highest right now, or 3 if you count Red Hood, is going to be Cinderella and SBS. They don't conflict with Rapi's typing at all. And what I mean by future-proof is that in the future, if we get insane burst 3s, because all the pilgrims tend to be the strongest burst 3s in terms of damage dealers, Rapi can still function as a burst 1 that deals more damage than most of the burst 3s. So absolutely such a strong character. Okay, I'm going to go over the builds and the skills and the cube as well. But I'm just going to answer one question that probably a lot of you guys will be asking is, how many copies? How many copies? And I think because of how Rapi works as a character and her availability, 1 copy. If you're free to play, 1 copy is actually enough. Unless you're, swimming in tickets, you've got like at least 800, if not 1,000 golden tickets, you can go for an extra copy. But I actually think one copy is enough. And this is the reason why. If you take a look at the banner right now, okay, it's a 1% because she's quote-unquote a pilgrim character. But what's going to be different is that she is actually available in the wish list. That's right. For those of you that don't know, NIKKE's new wish list includes pilgrims and overspec characters. So now you can put the new Rapi in there. So she is not going to be that difficult to get. Granted, it's still a very low chance, but it's much better than before, and she's not going to be a true limited. Not to mention, there's also fantastic banners such as Scarlet Black Shadow that you may want a copy as well. So my honest opinion, if you're free to play player or if you just started the game out, get one copy of Rapi and you're golden, because Rapi will do so much for you as a burst 3, and of course having more stats, more dupes on a burst 3 is good, but you can also slot her in burst 1. Grandma can literally retire now, and that's litter for those of you guys that are new, okay? Anyhow, let's take a look at my current build, and let me tell you, my Rapi is fully decked out, as she deserves it, okay? She definitely deserves it. And if you take a look at my subline for my overload gear, don't get jealous, okay? My gacha luck hasn't been that great because they all went to my gear luck. So, what you want for Rapi is elemental damage, because again, due to skill 2, she will apply strong element damage, right? And she's going to have dual typing, which means your elemental advantageous damage is going to happen twice as more likely. So, yes, ally damage is definitely good, because now there are two types of bosses that you can use Rapi with elemental advantage. And next is max ammo capacity, okay? And that ties in with the cube, which is going to be the Bastion cube, and Bastion cube is a cube that refunds ammo. There we go. You can see, activates when you fire 10 rounds, you reload 3. So it's about a 30% refund. And what that means is that if you have max ammo line, I have them all stacked up to 1,000 ammo. You get essentially 300 extra ammo out of that. And this is crucial because when she's bursting, right? When she's going all out, you don't want her to be reloading during that time, because a lot of it is going to be relying on you attacking. After your normal attacks, you'll be able to launch these projectiles and they of course explode. So you want her to be attacking and firing off shots for as long as possible. And machine guns, you know that there's the ramping up and ramping down time as well. So having more ammo on MG, always a good to have. And for the last slot, you can basically just have attack. And as you can see from from my luck, my Rapi has Ellie, ammo, attack on 3 of the overload gears, which means these 3 pieces of gear are essentially the best in slot. The only one that's different is this one, which is missing an attack line, but pretty much this is the GOAT Rapi. Okay, this is GOAT Rapi. And in terms of skills, if you can't, just 10-10-10, alright? Honestly, just 10-10-10. There's nothing much to say. All of them are so good. Okay, 777 of course is the choke point, because after level 7 it'll cost different resources or much more. In terms of priority, I would say 2 and 3 would probably be the most important, because they are the ones doing the most damage. 1 has a lot of buffs to herself, but attack buffs you can get a ton from your allies. And then burst cooldown, this is a massive cooldown reduction, but 7 seconds is honestly over the line. You don't even need 7 seconds, so this is why skill priority wise 2 to 3 and 2 and 3 probably over 1 is what I would go for. But still 10-10-10 is for sure worth it. So that is the Rapi build. Now in terms of the teams, there are so many variations of teams that you can run just due to the fact that she's got, of course, elemental advantages. And like I've said, 2024 was the year in which that we are moving towards mono elements, right? It's all about mono elements. For example, if you go into the union raid, let's just go into my union teams. If it did not load. Okay, we'll just go here. We're essentially going for all elemental teams so that you can take full advantage of the overload gear, which gives you elemental advantage. Now, this is essentially near the last bit of the damage calculation equation, which greatly amplifies your damage in comparison to like attack percentage or something, given the value is the same percent, right? So with that said, Rapi being able to fit in iron teams as well as fire teams opens up the door to so many things. Because right now, if you take a look at the fire team at the moment, right? The fire team at the moment is this. Sorry, is this. You may slot in, for example. Yes, I'm not joking. You may slot in Ray here. Okay? You actually may slot in Ray here. But with the introduction of Rapi, this is now your mono fire team, which is absolutely insane. And if you're looking at the mono iron team, let me find that for you guys. There we go. It's even more pleasing to see because right now iron is not in such a fantastic place. You would not even use litter here, but a lot of times you are running this, right? Red Hood into Maxwell. Or if you have the new treasure, you can do a form with Lapchan. But the crazy part of this is now the Iron Team, with the introduction of Rapi, you can do a dual Rapi setup. Okay, dual Red Hood setup is what I'm trying to hint at. They will both be super, super strong against Iron weak enemies. And even if you still want to run your setup with, for example, Maxwell, and you still want Maxwell to burst, you can take out litter. And this will do a lot more because with elemental advantage, as a B1, Rapi can actually keep up with Red Hood, which is, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's that absurd. So with the mono elemental teams going into endgame content and having the ability to run Rapping against essentially 2 boss types, she's gonna have such a huge future-proof journey ahead of her. And even if later on we get B3 power creep, which is gonna be a thing eventually, just turn her into B1. Problem solved. Problem solved. So that is basically how I would say Rapi is currently positioned, and honestly, what a character and absolutely deserving of our New Year Pilgrim / Elysian status. And I haven't even talked about the tower. She's going to be the Elysian Tower savior. You can run her as B1, B3, it doesn't matter. She is just going to kill everything now. Finally, Elysian Tower is saved, and 2025 is looking so bright. But anyhow, that's pretty much the rundown of the team compositions, the builds, and I just wanted to get this video out as soon as possible so you guys can see. And I just want to say thank you. This video will go up before 2024 ends in my time zone. So I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you guys that are here in the live stream, about 630 of you guys. And of course, you watching the video. Thank you so much for a wonderful year in 2024. I had such a wonderful time producing all the content for you guys in NIKKE, and of course across all the other games as well. And I hope to see you again for 2025. So happy New Year, happy holidays, and yeah, be safe and stay healthy and be good out there, because I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye now.